Alright, folks. It is time for us to go on a journey. For us to finally reach our true destinies, our true calling. Fuck being a podcaster. I want to be a Pokemon master. Oh wait, I probably shouldn't have said fuck within like the first 30 seconds, but oh well, we don't have monetization yet. But anyways, welcome to a brand new episode of the Channel Chasers podcast. I'm really excited for this episode because we get to talk Pokemon this week. I'm really hyped because it's a brand new direction. We technically recorded. We did record a previous episode talking about Horizons before. But that got scrapped.
But we did mention it in our year-end wrap-up.
Yep. But, this time you'll actually get to hear our thoughts because we've actually been on time. I just want to take this quick second to just pat everybody on the team on the back. We've got the assembly line down to a fucking science now.
I've been working as hard as I can to stick to a very strict schedule for myself.
Yeah, and we've
Yes.
we've done like a good handful of episodes now, and like we haven't really built up a backlog. The only reason like we were slightly behind is because I was sick this past weekend, and I wasn't really like thinking straight. I forgot to upload once, and that was my bad. But that's all fixed now.
And I've also been dealing with a lot of like mental health stuff where I've been sleeping a lot more, so that's been on my side of things. Why I haven't been as fast as I normally would be, but typically back to normal. So I'm going to like stick the course,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, everybody did on time. The views have been pretty decent. Like again, thank you to the YouTube people for really showing up for us, especially that Creature Commanders episode. Like,
yep.
Y'all just love the content, don't you?
And our Exo Kitty, as of recording, is only a day old, and it's doing really well.
Oh, I haven't checked. What was it? What was it at?
Currently at 14.
Oh wow! Already after only a day?
For 1 day.
Let's go. Okay, people are checking for us. Look at us being active, actual podcasters.
And now that I remember, when we covered Exo Kitty season 1, it did pretty well.
Oh yeah, it did great. I remember that was one of our better ones when we started this new iteration.
Yeah, and actually, a bit of an update on that. Just to help refresh everyone's memory on it, it was in our second season where I was like tentatively a member.
Oh yeah, during your probation.
Yeah, it was during the probation period. Yep.
Yep. So it was like 2 or so years ago.
Yep. Pretty much.
Anyway, hey guys.
Yeah. So
Ryan and Tony here.
Yeah. Just wanted to get that like housekeeping and that thank you out of the way. Of course.
Yeah.
Intro the guys. You know them by now. Brian and Tony are here with me tonight. How you doing tonight, fellas?
Doing all right.
All right.
All right. Cool. So. Of course.
Here's the real question. Feeling Jay. I hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely feeling better. Like I wouldn't have hit record if I was still feeling under the weather. I was like, cause it's been really cold here. Just quick tangent. It's been really cold here. So like, I'm around a lot of kids because we do a lot of like we do a lot of like we do a lot of work with toddlers in my section of the aquarium. And some of those little ones don't know how to cover their mouths or wash their hands sometimes. So it's a hotbed. I'm actually surprised it took me this long to get sick for last week. But
the good news is anytime you do get sick, you bounce back quick, unlike me.
Yeah, I'm pretty recovered. Like it happens like once a year around December. I always get like really badly sick. It'll knock me out for like a week, and then after that my immune system will fucking be supercharged. But yeah, all that out of the way, we're already starting into Tangent Town. But before we jump into anything further, of course we got to start the episode off right by jumping right into the news with Brian. Take it away, Brian.
Okay, so every once in a while I do this, give you guys a choice.
Okay.
Do you want news about a franchise that none of us have a big connection to, or news about another revival?
Let's go with revival.
So, Victorious is coming back.
What?
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's gonna be starring Daniela Monet.
Wait, it's a Victoria's revival, but like it's not gonna be starring Tori. It's gonna be starring Tori's sister. I mean, I love Danielle Monet. Trina was great, but that's kind of funny.
Well, yeah. Trina is the only one that we know for sure coming back.
I was gonna say Leon Thomas is going crazy with his music career right now. I think he's too busy to be coming back to Nickelodeon even for a little bit.
Yeah, but the show, it's gonna be a new show called Hollywood Arts about she comes back to teach at Hollywood's premier performing arts school where she once was a student.
One of those tales.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So it's just Girl Meets World, but with Victorious.
But with the fact that it's got a completely new name, makes me think that it's not going to be like, where the focus is completely on the old cast.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so funny because like if you look at the cast of Victorious, aside from I think the guy who played Robbie, I don't know what that gentleman's been up to, but aside from the gentleman who played Robbie, everybody on that cast has blown up since Victorious. Avon Georgia is pretty huge. Like he's done a lot of big work recently. Liz Gillies is quite possibly in talks for some superhero stuff, maybe.
And he also just I think recently ended a decade-long stint
on Dynasty. Yep.
Dynasty.
Yep. We don't even need to mention Ariana Grande. She's Ariana Grande. I don't actually know what happened to Victoria Justice. Like Victoria Justice was in a lot of stuff, but then kind of disappeared.
Well, she mostly now does made for TV and like
Hallmark type stuff.
That too. She was in that really weird movie that I talked about a while back, The In-Laws, where Adam Devine was marrying a girl and found out that her parents, one of them which being Pierce Brosnan, were bank criminals.
Oh right, yeah, I do remember you talking about this.
She was the fiance.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, so she's been doing smaller stuff.
I'm probably not gonna check this one out. I'm a little burnt out on the Nickelodeon revivals. I watched Zoe 102. That was garbage. The iCarly one is the only one that was actually pretty decent, but then it ended on a cliffhanger.
Well, the theory is that for this one specifically, that it might be focusing on a new group of teenagers, with her filling the teacher role of the guy.
Of Psychowitz, yeah.
Yeah, of Psychowitz.
I mean, I could see that, but also, I'm just not interested. It doesn't really do anything for me in terms of. I want to check that out.
And just to clarify anybody's worries, it was also confirmed Dan Schneider has nothing to do with this.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, good for Daniela Monet. I'm glad she's getting more work. I hope the spinoff does well.
We'll have to wait and see, but probably not something for us.
Nah, probably not. Unless Ariana Grande happens to come back, I'll watch that episode.
I mean, she did say that she's trying to get back more into acting.
I will watch that episode and that episode alone.
Which, is funny, because that's exactly what a lot of people say about the Wizards of Waverly Place.
Is they only watch the episodes with Alex in it?
Yeah, people will just watch the ones with Selena.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I actually checked out the initial pilot with those 2 episodes where she was in it. It's cute, but I'm not Disney Channel sitcom age anymore. Mm-hmm. I can see cheesy writing now. And I'm cool.
The only one that I think somewhat survives with rewatches as an adult is, oddly enough, Good Luck Charlie.
Good Luck Charlie does still hold up. Girl Meets World does not hold up. They have a whole.
Oh
man,
God no.
There's there's a whole thing. They don't even get me started on their autism episode. They have this whole thing on religion. It does not age. It does not age well.
The autism one has been repopulating and recirculating on TikTok.
Oh yeah,
how bad we talking here, gents? How bad?
It's really bad. Like the kids. So again, major tangent. The kids basically treat Farkle's potential autism diagnosis like it's a fucking death sentence, or that it's gonna fundamentally change him. It's fucking weird. It's handled very weirdly.
If you remember in the in the 90s, how we had like the HIV episodes.
Yeah, it's handled like that, which is odd because, like, we find out that Farkle does not have Asbies, which is surprising. But when they actually do deal with the person with Asbies on the cast, the girl Smackle, they actually handle it with care. But then why are you guys treating Farkle like he was some like weird pariah with a plague when you treated Smackle like a normal person? Whatever.
Because she's not in the
main cast, so it didn't matter. Yeah, I know the meta reason, but like, damn, like, come on now.
Well, just also doesn't affect us as much if it's not in our inner circle.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean,
that is. Absurd.
If you think about it, it does kind of show the the egocentrism of teenagers in a way. So that is kind of accurate.
It does. I don't agree with you there.
But that's it for news.
Okay, cool. So moving on, we are jumping into our next segment, which is Screen Time. Screen Time is, of course, a segment of the podcast where the guys and I all talk about the different pieces of media we have consumed in between podcast episodes. That can range from anything between YouTube rabbit holes, movies or TV shows that we haven't had time to cover on the show, video games, book, all that stuff and more. So I'll go ahead and start. I have been down a rabbit hole of just like binge watching one of my favorite YouTube channels in terms of like the comic book community, and that is Chris from Comic Tropes. Love Comic Tropes, and I've just been like binge watching a bunch of their stuff. A lot of Chris's like artist deep dives, especially, and just looking into that. It actually really got me interested in looking into like just the overall history of Marvel. So I like got the audiobook for Marvel Comics: The Untold Story.
Oh, really?
Which is very interesting. It's an autobiographical, or it's a biographical account of basically the founding of Marvel Comics, all the way up into the speculator boom of the 90s and the bankruptcy, and like you get to hear like from different interviews from different people from that were in the bullpen, like legendary people like Jack Kirby, Roy Thomas, fucking Gil Kane, people like that. If you're a big time comics nerd, you know those names, especially when it comes to Marvel. But yeah, I've been really deep diving into just Comic Tropes YouTube channel. He makes great stuff. I enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. Some other stuff. I got put on to an indie series, and I'll talk about this more probably on Comic Chaser this week, or maybe next week when the new issue of it comes out. But I got put on to Radiant Black recently, which is a independent comic series done by Kyle Higgins, who was the dude who did that massive run on Boom Studios Power Rangers, and was doing things all the way up until the Hasbro purchase, where once Hasbro bought the property, they were like, yeah, nope, I know you were gonna do cool stuff, but we're done. Here you go.
Although now they're doing Prime,
yeah,
and I've heard good things about that.
I have heard good things about Prime. But yeah.
But I've also heard good things about Radiant Black. Like, I've actually heard about it.
Yeah, Radiant Black is really interesting. It's like, again, I only know like bits and pieces because like they put out this like one shot that is like the story so far, because apparently issue 31 is like a good jumping on point. And they want new people to jump in, and essentially it's a modern superhero story that's very Power Rangers-esque, just with the fact that like they're transforming heroes that are like multicolored, that get their powers from these miniature black holes that have different abilities. I know the only one whose abilities I know off the top of my head are Radiant Yellow. Radiant Yellow has the ability of like clairvoyance, and like they're able to see into the past and future, and they were actually able to like manipulate time to such an extent where they were able to create two timelines, one where one of the main characters was Radiant Black, and one where the other one was. It's really interesting. It's a super dope concept and series, and I can't wait to jump in on it. The new issue comes out this month. I don't believe it is this week, but I think it's next week, as of the recording of this podcast, where issue 31 comes out, and I guess I'll talk about that briefly on Screen Time when that comes up, but I'm really interested. I've heard nothing but good things about Radiant Black, and I've loved Kyle Higgins' stuff since his Nightwing run on the New 52. So, and like, with all his great work on Power Rangers, I know he can do this type of transforming superhero stuff. So, I'm looking forward to actually jumping into it. Also,
and also because Sorry, I was just gonna say, because it is an independent comic, you don't have to stick to the usual superhero tropes.
Also, something cool is they're actually having a catch-up sale right now because they're trying to get so many people to jump into the series that the volumes are relatively cheap. I did the math in my Amazon cart, and to get all 6 volumes of the current series right now, which that's all they have out, and you'd be fully caught up. It's only about $100, and that's 6 volumes. Now, granted, one of them is is the volume 1, which is a compendium, which has the first 12 issues instead of like a regular 6-issue trade. It's like a 2 volumes in one kind of thing. But yeah, with all that together, it's $100, like 102 maybe, and like that's a fucking steal for that much comic.
Mm-hmm.
So. I'm actually, not only am I gonna jump on with issue 31, but I am gonna go back eventually and read all those volumes and then give my thoughts. I might even do a separate like Comic Chaser special on Radiant Black if people are interested. If people are interested, let me know in the comments. What other stuff? I've checked out. I'm keeping up with Invincible. I've only seen I think the first 2 or 3 episodes so far of season 3. Or is it season 3 or season 4? I don't remember what season number we're on.
3. Yeah, wait, no. Yeah, we're on 3.
We're on 3? Okay, yeah, season 3. Yeah, pretty good. I can't wait to cover it. Other stuff that I've been just keeping up with that I'm just quickly mentioned without going into like full detail. Friendly Neighborhood, fully caught up on it, and I'm really interested to see what's going on, especially considering where I think they're going with one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm. Nice and ominous, but I'm glad because I'm not caught up.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch that recent batch. Like, there's some really good stuff in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Their release order is weird, but I kind of like it. It's avant-garde. You could even say to quote a gym leader from the Paldea region.
Mm-hmm.
It also seems like they're ending it like with like natural cliffhangers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it feels very much like a comic in that way.
Yeah.
So again, enjoying it. Don't want to go into full detail because we're gonna eventually do a full podcast episode. But I am keeping up with it. I am enjoying it still.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
As am I. Actually, I have my qualms with it, but I'm anticipating to see where this first season goes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Any other stuff? No, all the other stuff is stuff I'll talk about on Comic Chaser when I cover my books this week. I am looking, I guess as a teaser, I am looking forward to this week is when the first issue of the One World Under Doom event drops. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this event kicks off. So I'm hyped. We'll see if it lives up to the hype. But so far,
also
the build up has been great.
Also, I've heard, I think this week is all new Venom number 5, where we finally
where we get the reveal of who is behind the symbiote, which I'm curious about. I'm not reading it, but I am still curious. I'm just gonna probably flip through it at the shop and see.
Yeah.
Other stuff. I'm really excited for Zatanna number 1. Zatanna number 1 drops this week as well. I made that the thumbnail for the episode. It's gonna be written and drawn by Jamal Campbell, who is one of my favorite artists working today. He's done some amazing work on Superman, so I cannot wait to see what he does for the Zatanna book.
Mm-hmm.
So really looking forward to it. Got a lot of stuff to talk about this week for Comic Chasers, but I wanted to give you guys a quick little teaser. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. So moving on to Brian.
Well, the thing is I really didn't get to catch up on shows and stuff because for once I was a season behind, so I needed to play catch up with Horizon. But I did manage to see a few small things. I think I didn't mention that I finished Rookie, the recruit, but I did.
Mm-hmm.
And the very, very end kind of irked me, but I think it did stick the landing overall.
Nice.
But this guy has he has definitely, in RPG terms, invested in a lot of luck points. But yeah, he also continues to be like the weirdest like combination of a J character and a me character at the same time.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I remember you talking about how like he's got like the cockiness, but he also fails upward.
Yeah, and also in the second season we really get to see that he has a big heart that gets him in trouble, but he also sometimes thinks with his other head. So combination of both of us again. But anyway, then also Unprepared Casters, they did a one-shot with just the two rotating GMs of this game that I hadn't heard of. It's, sorry, I'm trying to pull it up because I had it pulled up, but then my phone lost it. The Time We Have.
Never heard of it.
It's a two-player TTRPG, where basically you play two brothers in the zombie apocalypse, and you sit on either sides of a door, and one of the brothers is inside of a room, locking himself in because he's been bit, and the other one is like staying with him until he changes or see what happens. And the game is just basically
it sounds like a fucked up zombie version. It sounds like a fucked up zombie version of that scene from Frozen.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you want to kill a zombie?
Doesn't have to be a zombie.
Okay, bye. Or okay, die.
But yeah, and the game mechanic is just basically each of the brothers gets their own stack of cards, and like when there's a lull in the conversation, they read off the card. One of them reads off the card, and you trade off who. And it's just like a thought experiment game.
Interesting.
And these two have been playing with each other for years, so
phrasing.
They have been doing TTRPGs together for years.
There we go.
And they've been friends for that long, and you can really tell. I will say that it is a very like sad and deep episode.
Yeah, with that concept, I'd imagine it would get that way.
And it definitely hits harder if you have a brother. But yeah, sometimes you want to watch something sad, and if you do, that's a good thing. Then also watch the latest episode of High Potential. I'm really enjoying it. This one, we got to see more of a look into her ex. And we've said it before here that we want to see more of healthy divorced couples, and this show does it. We also, in a similar sense, get to find out more about his work partner, his former work partner, the detective, and like what drove them apart. And it's a pretty cool case overall. And lastly, just for shits and giggles, because I've been hearing good things about it, I checked out the pilot for Elsbeth. We watched the trailer for it a while back.
What's the premise?
It's the one about it's a spinoff of The Good Fight. It's about a lawyer who, on the surface, seems like she has autism, but they never actually confirm it, and she helps the police solve crime.
So it's only the touch of the tism.
Well, she definitely shows the symptoms. Like, it's not like Big Bang or something where they're going into like the stereotypes, but it's like more along the lines of actually women with autism type coded.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Interesting.
But I only watched the pilot, and it seems pretty okay for a police procedural. It does have the black guy from Jack Ryan that we love so much. That is also scheduled to be our next Perry White.
Oh, the one the one that was Clive on iZombie, right?
No, he was on he's overweight black guy that's like everywhere. And he was the best friend in John Krasinski Jack Ryan show.
Oh, okay.
Him. He plays the captain who's kind of like tired of her shit, but is dealing with her because he has to.
Oh, God.
And also, I will say, a unique thing, I don't know if they're going to keep this for the rest of the show, but this was at least the way with the pilot, is we open up the show with the murder, and we get to see, like, who the killer is. And
you get to watch the characters figure it out, but you, the audience, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, Poker Face did a similar thing, if I remember correctly, because it's been a while. But this one is more like network flavored, if you catch my drift. Because Poker Face was a streaming show, so it could do like whatever it wanted to. So this is probably like a more muddied version. Yeah. It's on network.
More so something like the Good Doctor. Like, I actually enjoyed that for a good chunk of time and then fell off.
Well, yeah. Also, unlike The Good Doctor, they don't actually say that she has it. A lot of people theorize that she has it.
It's just coded and implied. Okay, cool.
That's it.
All right, Tony.
Well, I decided to go on a bit of a YouTube comic book rabbit hole, but a fun one this time. I decided to rewatch Mary Marvelite's entire saga on Alpha Flight, because it's in 3 parts, which includes the formation of the team in the first part, which is almost an hour long, then talking about some of the villains they fought in the second half, and then more storylines in the third. This team is interesting, overall fascinating. I cannot look away from it. All from the creative mind of John Byrne.
Yeah. So fun fact about that. The reason for that is because John Byrne himself is Canadian.
That makes sense. That makes so much sense.
So he wanted to really give Canada's premier superhero team a good push, but sadly it just didn't catch.
Yeah.
Although true comic fans like them. Like, I like them.
I mean,
oh yeah.
I like certain members. I can't say I like Alpha Flight as a whole. I like certain members. Like,
True.
Walt is cool. I like Sasquatch. I like Pip. I like North Star and oh yeah. I was thinking Pip the Troll, but yeah. I like Puck. I like North Star and Aurora. But Shaman I'm kind of iffy on, because Shaman's a little
Michael gives me a lot of parallels to Stephen Strange.
Yeah, like Shaman just feels like a bootleg Doctor Strange,
but with extra bits, because of his daughter.
Yeah, Talisman and all that. Yeah.
And I like Narya, or I think it's Snowbird.
Snowbird, yeah.
I find her origins fascinating because she's a demigod.
Yeah.
And then I went down, because there's this one channel that I found, because I saw a video basically putting a superhero in every state that's from a different state specifically. That's how I learned that the original Madam Web is from Salem, Oregon.
Oh, cool. Like the old lady one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The same creator, Nikhail Clayton. Oh my god, this dude is so funny. Like, from YouTube shorts to long form videos that I saw, he has an entire playlist about random X-Men characters, like lesser known X-Men characters. His first episode was on Eric the Red.
Yep.
And you know what this series is called?
What? Rejects. I mean, that's fair.
And hell, I learned of a character that both Scott Summers and Magneto have been with.
Oh.
Lee Forrester.
Oh, yeah.
Madam Pirate Lady. Yeah.
Pirate chick. Yeah, I remember her.
And then there was an interesting long form video that he did on YouTube that talked about the Eternals. Gentlemen, you both know, and I hope the audience knows, but to give a helpful reminder for those who are new, I do not like this movie. It bored me to tears, and it made me angry. I like art house films. I just don't like this one. But the thing that Nicole proposed, it has a, what's the polite way to say this? Some of the theme involves a certain action that people can either are pro-life or pro-choice.
Oh, the whole movie is technically one big metaphor for that. Actually, Doctor Who did a really similar, very terrible episode with this exact same premise.
Oh god, the moon egg?
Yeah, the moon egg. You remember the one with Clara? Yep.
Yeah, and the more I thought about it, the more it kind of made sense to me. Yeah, it's just something I didn't think about because I was too wrapped up with being mad.
It's literally, it's not a baby because it's a celestial. It's not, but it's literally a life form incubating under the earth. Do we let it live, or do we terminate it before it can destroy us all?
It was something I didn't really think about because, like I said, this movie made me mad.
I've never seen the movie, but hearing the premise, that was what I immediately thought of.
But it drove me to maybe rewatch it to look at it from that perspective. That's what most YouTube videos do for you there, friends. They kind of push you to do certain things, to really rethink your opinions from when you initially had them, to learn and grow.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I still may hate the movie, but at least I'm going to acknowledge the fact that, hey, at least it had something to say without either intentionally or unintentionally saying it. But by far, the most entertaining thing about this guy's channel is his YouTube show. They are so funny because he does it in the perspective of each of these Marvel or DC characters. Because here's a conundrum. So, Jay, Brian, we know Gambit's powers, right?
Okay, yes.
How he can manipulate kinetic energy?
Yes.
Could he theoretically kinetically charge kryptonite to potentially kill Clark?
I think I've seen this video.
Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about then.
I mean, theoretically, yes.
And Clark's like, okay, let's give it a shot. Which I thought to myself, that's crazy, Clark. You really want to play like
Man has a death wish, I guess.
He also did one about the Super Bowl.
Oh, God.
Where it's like Remy wants to go, and it's like, come on, this is my Super Bowl. All of these people in the streets, easy picking.
That's fair.
God's like, no, you can't do that.
Which, by the way, the Super Bowl has passed as we're recording this podcast. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. I hate Philly fans, but thank you for defeating the what I thought was unstoppable dynasty of the Chiefs, because they fumbled. They blew that shit so hard. That was
Pause.
That was bad. No, completely intentional. No pause. No pause. Because
also,
Jesus.
But back to what I was initially talking about. He presented to me one of the most unintentionally awesome concepts for a what if story I have never thought about before. And it's like a recent thing. What if Gambit became a Herald of Galactus?
Oh, that dropped a few weeks ago. It was really cool. They did a bunch of these what if one shots of what if X person became a Herald of Galactus. They did one for Gambit. They did one for Moon Knight. They did one for Rogue.
And the Gambit one is very fascinating.
Oh yeah, because it takes place during the Mutant Massacre. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah, and also the look that he has as a Herald.
Oh yeah, it's
crazy.
Yeah,
I saw
a video about the Rogue one. That one is interesting too, because
how so?
The whole entire thing is about Rogue is that she can access powers that people didn't even know that they had, and like memories that they didn't even know they had. So by becoming a Herald of Galactus, she gets more tuned into the Galactus, and it discusses like the ethics of Galactus and like his role within the greater cosmic.
Yeah, she actually creates a deeper bond with Galen the being, as opposed to Galactus the world.
That's interesting. But what's the point of divergence that led to her becoming?
I don't remember.
In this one, she doesn't join the X-Men. Like Norrin crash lands in front of her house before she can.
Oh, that's crazy. Damn, Norrin got hoed. Damn.
And she goes to help him, and like not really knowing her powers,
touches him, obtains the power cosmic, and just becomes a Herald of Galactus that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And
that makes sense.
And her outfit for being a Herald is kind of similar to her Uncanny Avengers outfit.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Moon Knight one's out of left field to me.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's pretty bonkers.
Why Mark Galactus?
Also, speaking of just interesting things for comics, a couple. I mean, I talked about this in Comic Cases, but I'll briefly mention this. Fucking shout out to Steve Orlando for finally answering a question that I've had on my mind for years. What would happen if Wanda's chaos magic clashed with Felicia's luck powers, and it's complete chaos and bullshit? And I'm here for it.
That's amazing.
It was really cool. And then like the entire cliffhanger with Amaranth and like her figuring out her power is also really interesting. I go into more detail in the Comic Cases episode. Go watch that if you're interested. But really good issue. Nobody talks about the Scarlet Witch series, and I think it's fucking great.
Nice. Oh, one more thing that I forgot to mention because I just remembered it. Mary Marvelite also posted a video talking about good old Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, nice.
And learning about this man is fascinating, because did you know that he comes from a long line of military men?
Yep, that I did know.
And apparently, because his dad was in the service for so long and away from his family, his mom decided to have a little extra thing on the side with a friend of theirs that he also saw as like a surrogate dad.
Family friend? Oh.
Yeah, it fucked him up because he didn't realize the affair with
with that guy.
And he saw him
And
as
it-
a surrogate father figure. Oh, that's rough. Dang.
Yeah. And it led to him keeping his family close when he enlisted.
A little too
And the
fucking-
random bullshit that man had to go through before he even became general
Oh yeah.
is wild. And also, like, the levels of petty. Like, I thought I knew how petty Thaddeus Ross could be, but I didn't know how petty this man was.
Oh yeah. He's one of those people that hold on to fucking hate.
Like, no,
That's
what
what
I'm-
powers roll.
this is one of the things that I find fascinating is he wants to look out for his daughter so much that he thinks in his mind that she should marry a military man because that's just in Ross's mind that makes the most sense.
Because it's secure and it'll ensure safety. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, but when Betty falls for Benner, he's like, what the fuck? Even though he helped out Bruce when he was a kid, when he was living with his aunt, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? You want to help out this kid this kid that you knew for years, but as soon as your daughter is interested in him, it's like, nah, what the fuck?
It'd be like that sometimes.
I know, and it's so fascinating to see like the hypocrisy in this man, and also the fact that after like a major fuck up his end, the thought to end and it's after taking off his, like, I think it was before taking off his medals and honors.
Mhm.
He had the gun right there at the side of his head and everything. He thought about it, but then he thought that's weak shit and decided to just leave in disgrace. It's fucking wild. And that was even before we got to Rolk.
Oh yeah, Thunderbolt Ross has had one hell of a fucking life.
Like this, one of the things I love about comics is that even though when a character first appears, you can really explore like their history, how they feel about things, and like the overall collaborative medium that is comics. Like here in the West, how people can just add on to a story or expand upon a character that didn't get that much expansion to really get into the heads of these people to make them human.
It's interesting. From what I've looked at, like in my like studies of Marvel history in terms of like creative teams and stuff, like you know, Hulk has never been like a big seller, but man, what the creative teams that get on Hulk really fucking love Hulk.
Oh yeah, and the stuff that they do, the kinds of stories that they tell is fascinating.
Yep.
After like beatdowns that Blonsky has had, he is terrified of Bruce. It is hilarious. And also, like Stern, the leader. If we want to talk about petty villains, Stern's is up there too.
Oh yeah, Leader's definitely up there. I wouldn't say he's up there with like Shredder or fucking Reverse Flash, but
Oh no, absolutely not. But I'm saying he's that like close to God tier pettiness, but he's like we need to really come up and settle like a petty scale, because there's like reality show star villain petty. There's
I'd say Leader is at least like an A tier petty. He's A tier petty. I feel like he's not like S tier, but he's A tier. I'd put him in A tier. Maybe.
also the first. I love how fucking Ross is always connected to the problems that he would later create.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the irony, right? Like, Ross is like a fucking self-fulfilling prophecy machine.
Yep. Like, with Samson, he brought him in to just basically be this, like, cool guy psychologist dude. But when he got hit with those gamma rays, he still is that cool psychologist dude.
Now I have
but
awesome green locks and muscles.
Yeah, and Wanda do unscrupulous things to Betty Ross, too. It's insane.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
Sasha talked about it. It was wild.
Oh yeah, I've seen that video. But is that it for you, Tone?
Other than like keeping up with the anime, just letting everyone know that yes, Boom Boonger is done. Boomy is back. He is alive. He came back through the power of people wishing him back to life.
Nice.
I haven't seen the proper context of it yet, but he got to kick the ass of Wild Spender with Taya.
Awesome.
Nice.
After being like juiced up by everyone on the team.
Nice.
Yeah, Boomy got his get back from Wild Spender, shooting him in the chest.
All right.
And the coolest thing is that they did a "I'm a man" punch to him, and it made his hat fly off his head.
Nice.
And speaking of that, I highly recommend that everyone watch the Secret Origins Month playlist done by Linkara of Atop the Fourth Wall fame if you want more funny jokes and get to know the origins of our favorite characters. Highly recommend it.
Oh, yeah,
His
for sure.
Doom Patrol one is hilarious.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, it just came out not that long ago, like a week or so ago,
Mhm.
as of this recording. And the thumbnails were great.
Oh yeah, Linkara always makes great thumbnails. But yeah, so that's it for screen time. So now we're gonna jump into trailer talk. Trailer talk is of course a segment of the podcast where our boy Brian here has gathered together six brand new trailers. YouTube people, you can find those in the description down below. And through the magic of editing, we will quickly watch them and then react to them. And then in a split second for you guys, we will give you our rapid fire thoughts on these various trailers. So we will be right back. But until then, please enjoy this word from our non-existent sponsors. And we're back. Okay, yay! No horror this week. I mean, not that we like dislike horror. We are big horror fans, but like, it's 3 weeks in a row. 3 weeks in a row, we've had like super intense horror in these trailers.
Only one got close.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, technically. Why don't we talk about that one? Park Rebirth.
I'm like cautiously optimistic. Like I want to say excited, but like at the same time, like you know, the Jurassic World franchise was kind of ass, but also dinosaurs, and that little kid in me is just like, nah, man, look at those dinosaurs though. It's cool.
It's different director and
Completely new cast with obviously returning vets, of course.
The director is actually Gareth Edwards.
Yeah, who did Rogue One? Yep, and the legendary Godzilla 2014.
Yep. And the script writer is the same dude who wrote the first two Jurassic Park movies.
Oh, cool. Nice.
And he said specifically for this one that he wanted to bring it back to its scientific origins, and that he wanted to acknowledge the Jurassic World series, but like not reboot it, but acknowledge its existence, basically.
Yeah, so basically everything that happened from part, like the first Jurassic Park to this, canon.
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't want to do any like, oh, it's underperforming, so let's reboot.
Yeah, none of that. This happened over there. Like this is. I'm glad they're at least keeping the franchise going. It's good to see ScarJo and stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Also nice. Sorry, go.
Dinos are always cool, especially when we see more Spinosauruses.
Yep. And just
also
a good variety of dinosaurs as well. Yeah.
Mahershala Ali.
Yep.
And
give bro something
himself, Jonathan Bailey.
Yeah. Give Mahershala Ali something to do. I mean, like Tony said, Blade is on indefinite hiatus. He needs something.
Yeah, give man something to do.
Team him up with a former Marvel actress and an actor people say is destined for Marvel.
He's got a superhero face. Jonathan Bailey has a superhero face. He really does.
Yeah, but that one is the like big Super Bowl trailer that I was excited for, but one that definitely disappointed that we also reacted to, the Smurfs.
Yeah, like
no,
I don't think it was disappointed. It was more just like a big what the fuck kind of thing.
Yeah,
because like, look, I'm a member of the Navy. I love Rihanna. Rihanna is great. Her music is phenomenal. But Rihanna is not a good match for Smurfette. And also, if you're gonna cast Rihanna as Smurfette, at least change up Smurfette's aesthetic. I'm not saying make her black, right? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, you know, give her like more of Rihanna's personality into it. Like Rihanna has such a unique style. Why if you're gonna bring Rihanna in, then Rihanna up Smurfette. Like, come on.
Also, I think that Rihanna is a better actress than people give her credit for.
Oh yeah, but
she was great. She was great in Bates Motel as Marion, the obviously the lady who gets stabbed in the shower in Psycho. Like she was in the TV show version Bates Motel. She played Marion, and she was great.
I also liked her in that dumb, like, shock movie of Battleship.
Mahalo,
God.
It was Mahalo
No.
They censored themselves so they could keep the rating.
I'm cool. No. Like,
But
like, listen.
Like-
I don't mind weird out there movies. I understand it, but even when you get me to look at this, like, did they smoke crack?
it was just,
Seriously.
Yeah.
It was just really trippy. It was just really trippy.
and who had
It's a turtle.
on their
What is the turtle?
And then they go into like
who
a video
had
game
on their
world and shit.
2025 bingo card the Smurfs would be the next property to explore the multiverse?
Who had it on their 2025
What?
bingo card that Rihanna's next project was a fucking Smurfs movie? Rihanna, please. I mean, I've given up on hoping for music from you, but like,
Oh.
Smurfs movie?
You want to know the thing that is like the twist of the knife?
What?
She's done a couple originals for the Smurf movie,
Oh, of course.
God. Love
but she
the
won't give
music.
us a whole album.
Yeah, it is so.
Man.
And I
It-
mean, I like
but you
the
know-
elements of it, like Ron Swanson as Papa Smurf's brother. But overall, just weird. I'd rather watch the Neil Patrick Harris one.
Right?
Yeah, but to transition to one that had Jay and I worried because of our
Oh
past
yeah.
alliances
Yep.
with
Oh,
a particular topic. Picture this. That's the actual title of the film.
Yeah, he wasn't actually leading into a description. It looks cute. It looks like you know, your standard kind of rom-com movie. You pretty much know where it goes, where it's gonna go from the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad it's a movie, because if it was a TV show, I was going to be like, nope, not doing this again.
Yep, and
Yep.
we would have
Cut-
yelled at Brian and
'cause-
held a grudge for it until we're old and dying.
Because, like, One Day's trailer was actually super upbeat, happy, and funny,
Which apparently, if you know the book and you know the movie,
which
you would know where that was going. But none
we,
of
we
us
did
have.
not. We read in blind, and we got fucking
Blind-
blindsided.
We're
Yep.
blindsided, and we're still mad at you, Brian.
Well, we've moved our hatred to the Netflix
But I'm saying.
to that one Netflix employee who miscategorized that fucking show.
Okay.
Romantic comedy.
Yeah, we'll yell at that person, but Brian has a little bit of
Oh
culpability.
yeah, he definitely is.
But,
he definitely is accountable somewhat. But
I will say,
most of it goes to that employee.
Yeah.
did you recognize the lead?
Not really.
The female lead was Olivia in Sex Education.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, she
Oh.
was the Indian girl in Sex Education. Okay, yep.
That
And,
makes sense.
The male lead is part of the Fiennes family.
Oh,
Oh.
like Ray Fiennes?
Wait.
Yep.
Oh shit. That's why he looked familiar.
He was in the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Behavior, which I still have yet to see that movie, but I do want to see it.
Mm.
And he was in the god-awful After series,
Oh lord.
which is one of those, like, I think it's based on a book, book series, might have been from Colleen Hoover, where it's like, where the man is, like, emotionally abusive and they pass it off as romantic.
Oh, it's one of those, the dark romance. Okay.
I've mentioned it before. In like the third, I think it's like the third one, because they've done 5. They bring in one of the Sprouse twins as like the nice guy, obvious pick that she should choose, but she goes with this guy instead.
Okay.
Alright then.
But anyway, and speaking about sad though,
Yep. Toxic Town. Toxic Town looks really good, has a great cast, but looks very, very sad. I'm cool. I'm probably gonna skip it just because it looks very, very sad.
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff that's based on a true story and it deals with heavy themes that will lead to perpetual
And
sadness,
also, like, the real world's already fucked up as it is. Like, I don't need reminders of how fucked up the real world is. I'm cool.
Yeah. Might eventually check it out, but not for the show.
Yeah, not right now.
Absolutely,
Not right now. But, like, one hell of a cast, though.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot
And
of Scottish people. I guess it
Yep,
takes place in
and-
Scotland, I think, maybe.
I think it does too. And it's one of those shows where it aired over in the UK, and then Netflix acquired the rights to the
okay.
American.
Gotcha.
But before we go back to Netflix, and on a happier note, House of David.
I mean,
No, is this a movie or
Amazon Prime.
is it a movie
It's
or
a TV show.
I was gonna ask if it was a movie or TV show.
My original assumption was right.
Okay. I mean, it looks cool. I'm not particularly interested. I mean,
Yeah.
Like, I know the story of David, and like, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to like make it a big sword, sandals and sword and sandal kind of epic, and you know, it's gonna probably come out around Easter time. But like, I'm not that interested in David. Now, if they do a show on Solomon, I will watch the show on Solomon. I find Solomon more interesting of a king than David.
Yeah, and also I had to like troll Goliath for a moment because how are you gonna reach your sword on your back like that, bro?
How is he gonna reach?
Indeed. But to me, I don't know about y'all, but to me this felt like, hey, Game of Thrones was popular and Shogun was popular. What can we do to get an epic like that?
Gladiator 2 just came out relatively recently.
Yeah.
You know what we need to make Bible stories feel like Game of Thrones?
Because the Bible is public domain.
Now, granted, like if you've actually read the Bible gets really freaking intense. So, like, you know, it is actually rife for drama and actually pretty good TV. But like, I'm not interested in David in particular. There are some Bible stories that I would be interested in. Like I said, Solomon's interesting. Like,
dude, I watch at least an entire like mini series dedicated to Samson. I would.
I would watch something dedicated to Samson or like I would even I believe Joseph and his Technicolor coat is getting a new movie adaptation.
Because we had one with the DreamWorks animated film back in the day.
I loved that one as a kid. I thought that was cool.
But this upcoming one is going to be directed by John M. Chu, who gave us
Wicked. So like the musical's going to be pretty freaking dope. I'm excited.
Yep.
But yeah, so you know.
And last but certainly not least, we have Running Point.
It looks like just like a parody of Succession.
Yeah, and also it's nice to see Kate Hudson in something again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this has a really good cast.
That was my first thought of. I was like, oh, Kate Hudson. I'm glad to see you working.
Yeah, and also apparently to have someone just say to her character,
I've seen your titties on the internet. Can't take you
like
seriously.
hold it in front of her face. It was so hilarious.
Which, by the way, you know who plays the dude that told her that he's seen her tits everywhere?
Who?
None other than Mr. Chet Hanks.
Oh, everybody's favorite reggae star, Chet Hanks.
Yep.
Call me a bit ignorant to some things, but who that man?
Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks' son, he's like notorious.
Okay.
He's like notorious for like wanting to be a rapper, a reggae artist.
Got
Okay.
into some serious
Okay.
legal trouble.
That's why I said. But I was thinking to myself, why does that man look like Tom Hanks?
No, it's because he's Tom Hanks' son. Looks just like him.
That's crazy. Tom Hanks, but bald.
He looks like bad ending Tom Hanks.
Oh no, not bad ending Tom Hanks. Nobody likes that.
But meanwhile, you've got Chet Hanks. Chet Hanks' brother, who looks like a good ending Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Oh my
Colin,
god.
that's his name, Colin Hanks.
Yep. Colin Hanks. He's the one everybody actually likes. But
also, he's not really in the trailer, but apparently part of the show is Max Greenfield, aka Schmidt from New Girl.
Oh, nice. Also, like Lawrence from Insecure is the coach. I'm glad to see him. I'm glad to see him doing work. I forget the guy's name off the top of my head. But I know he played Lawrence on Insecure. He was in Top Gun. Glad to see him like moving up. But I'm gonna skip that one. I want to say his name is something Ellis.
I was glad to also see Jay Ellis.
Jay Ellis. There we go.
I was also glad to see Brenda Song.
Yeah.
Doing more stuff.
The last thing we saw her in was that one show that we watched with like that female friend group where it was like her, Shay Mitchell. Do you remember that, Brian? Dollhouse. There we go. Tony wasn't there for this one, but yeah, I remember us watching that.
We covered like the first season, I think.
Yeah.
But this is like this iteration of podcast, so
yep.
I think it's lost to the ether.
Yep, more than likely.
But we liked what we saw of it.
Yeah, I mean Brenda Song is a good actress, and she is genuinely funny. Like this looks like it could be funny, but like there was nothing in this trailer that like made me like actually like laugh out loud to make me be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna check this out.
Okay.
That's the thing with comedy trailers, right? A comedy trailer has to like actually make me laugh to make me want to see it. I didn't chuckle.
Okay, so apparently Brenda Song has been like constantly acting. I just never noticed because she's been in places that I hadn't seen. Like Station 19, she was on that show for a while. She was on Amphibia, the animated show, for a while.
She voiced the main character on Amphibia.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, she voices the main character.
Nice.
Yeah.
And also, she's voicing a princess in that show that we keep saying that we want to watch but we never have. Blue Eye Samurai.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's it for the trailers.
Okay. Like nothing, no big standouts. Nothing from this batch that was like, oh yeah, we definitely got to cover this for the podcast.
Maybe Jurassic.
Oh well,
World,
Jurassic World or the next Jurassic Park movie. Maybe that's a strong.
It's called Jurassic World Rebirth.
It's called Jurassic World Rebirth. Okay, so Jurassic World Rebirth is a maybe because dinosaurs, and that just seems like fun. But like other than that, nothing really stood out to me in this batch of trailers. But now let's get to the main subject of tonight's discussion. We are going to be talking about Pokemon Horizon Season 2. We will also be talking about Season 1 in this spoiler-free section, so if you have not seen Pokemon Horizon Season 1, leave now, forever hold your peace. These are spoilers for Season 1. I really enjoyed Horizon Season 1. I think it did a really good job of establishing the world and the tone for the series. It did a great job of setting up the characters and the different dynamics as well, and just the fact that this series was much more of an adventure series than your traditional gym challenge Pokemon anime. Was a great twist, and I think they're doing a great job of incorporating game elements into this anime more so than they have in the past, which we can talk about definitely more in Season 2. But I really enjoyed it. I think our three protagonists are very solid, and yeah. As a longtime Pokemon fan, I don't have any complaints. It's not perfect, mind you. Like the pacing is definitely a little slow at times, and like I do feel like certain characters could get fleshed out a little bit more. But for the most part, I really enjoyed the first season, and I think it was off to a really good start going into Season 2. But yeah, what did you guys think of Season 1? We'll start with Brian, and then we'll go to Tony.
Yeah, I really liked it. Basically, all you said, and it also explored element that we didn't think that we needed more info about, but we did. Like, what happens if a nurse droid doesn't want to be a nurse?
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
And all of the members of the Olivine have their own personalities, even the Pokemon, which that was the thing that happened in Season 1, but it also continues in Season 2. It's like you can almost understand what the Pokemon are saying.
It's not even almost. You can understand what the Pokemon are saying. Because you've gotten to know them so well.
Yeah.
We totally understood what Shuck will be talking about during that one episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And our best boy, Cap, who, in my personal headcanon, curses like a sailor. We just can't understand
100%.
Oh, he does. He's a captain after all.
Yeah, and a sailor at that. So that, yeah, it kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah. But all of them are good characters. Like, some of them don't get as much time as you would want, and honestly, I hate to, just as a teaser, that trend might continue in Season 2, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Okay. So Tony, Season 1, thoughts?
I really liked Season 1, really exploring the overall story, because it's not like what Jay said, it's not a gym-focused narrative. It's a character-focused narrative.
Yeah.
And the principal cast of characters are just these fledgling Pokemon trainers, like our point of view characters, our protagonists, Liko, Roy, and then later another character, Dot. These kids are still learning, and a lot of troubles with the Pokemon community, especially fans of the anime, just expect these kids to be S-tier battlers. No, absolutely not. These kids are kids. They could be dumb. They could just be inside their own heads. They have their own little issues, and I love that about these characters.
Oh yeah, it's very.
They're not.
It's very, and because it's so character focused, you know, it does lead it to it being like more of a slow burn. But honestly, I enjoy that a little bit more.
And plus, there's more. Not to say that Ash's dynamic with Team Rocket isn't iconic. It truly is. But it doesn't feel like really that personal between Ash and Team Rocket. But with Liko, the Rising Fall Tacklers, and the Explorers, it's personal.
Oh yeah. There's an actual connection, like because obviously there's history with Liko's grandmother, even, you know, not even to go into like spoiler stuff.
Yeah.
But like that was hinted at in season 1, so like, you know, there's a deeper connection there, and so like it makes you more invested in the villains, and also like the villains are defeated, but they're also still taken seriously as threats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I love Jesse, James, and Meowth, but like at the end of the day, they ended up just devolving into comic relief.
Yeah.
Which, you know, they served a good purpose for that, and I mean, like, I still feel like the Alola season was like their best season. But like the Explorers all pose a credible threat to the Rising Volt Tacklers. Like, they give them a run for their money each time.
Yeah, and the thing that I like to add back to what you're saying, Tony, about the fact that they're not good battlers, is the thing is that they're kids and they're learning. But also, to make the show interesting so we do have good battlers, the show also includes cast members that are adults, that are well-trained battlers.
Yeah. Like,
to be fair, the only ones we see fully battling out of the Brave Olivine crew, more often than not, are Murdoch and Freed does the lion's share of the battling.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, these kids are learning, and so they have to learn from somebody.
And plus, the life lessons that we get in Horizons, I think, are handled a bit better than they ever were when Ash was the protagonist.
Well, I also think that's kind of like a blessing of this format, as opposed to like
absolutely.
back in the day, because like back in the day it was all just like we got to get to the league, you know, so they kind of just rushed past development. With this show and how they structure episodes, they actually like let the lessons breathe and sink in.
I agree with you.
Which like I think like actually like makes it feel like they are actually learning, and the stuff sticks with them. They don't just forget it next episode. It's like, oh man, Dot's nervous around cameras again, even though she learned to like stand up for herself and be more confident.
Also, like sometimes the lessons are not even for the human; they're for the Pokemon themselves.
Yep. All right. So that's pretty much all we can talk about with season 1 for our thoughts there. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about season 2. We'll do a quick spoiler-free section, and then we'll jump into spoilers. I really enjoyed season 2. I thought season 2 was actually a big step up from season 1, and I think this change of location to Naranja Academy was a great move. Although, you know, as a Violet player, Uva all day every day, but you know, it's neither here nor there. But changing settings to the school makes a lot of sense, because again, these kids have to learn. Of course, they're directly here for the Terra training, so that they can, you know, further progress Terrapagos', like Terrapagos' story. Because if you've played the game, you already know Terrapagos' connection to terrestrialization. So you know, there's that. But also, like, the kids get to be in interesting social situations, and we also get to see characters like come back, like Anne from Indigo Academy makes a return, which I thought was really cool. And you know, we get to see them in new different social situations and things like that as well. And I like how the gym leaders are utilized in Paldea very well. Definitely unconventional, but I prefer it this way, because the gym leaders feel more like mentors to these young trainers than they have in the past in other regions, which I think, you know, if you look at the world of the anime, that's really what a gym leader is supposed to do for the young trainers, right? It's supposed to, you know, be a benchmark for a young trainer to just not only see their skill, but to teach them, you know, lessons along the way. way. And like I think this season does a really great job of teaching our three main protagonists about what it means to be a Pokemon trainer and what kind of Pokemon trainer they each in particular want to be. All right, so Brian,
yeah,
spoiler free thoughts on season 2.
I agree. I really like season 2. Now, granted, I wish some of the like Olivine crew members had bigger roles, but I understand narrative wise it makes sense why they're where they are. And also to fill their roles, we not only get the gym teachers, we also gym leaders, which feel more like fleshed out characters than waypoints.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the professors, we get personality, like the biology. Teachers.
Yeah,
teachers.
Which I was really glad for, because honestly, like one of my favorite elements of the game, Scarlet and Violet, personally for me, and I know Tony agrees with me as well, because we talked about this when we've discussed the game, amongst ourselves, is the teachers at the respective academies and their various personalities is some of the most fun like world building we've had in a Pokemon game in a very long time, and like the anime does such a great job of showing off these personalities really well.
And the casting director, like kudos to them, like the biology teacher, Sayu.
Sayu's playing Shock.
And Rika, that was our dude Hermes from Stray Gods.
Oh, nice.
Erika Ishii.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, so even though some of the pre-existing adults had to take a back step, it was cool to see these new ones and take over, because that's the good thing is supposed to be about like Pokemon trainers and like just in general when you're learning something. It's good to learn from multiple different people.
Yeah, wide variety of sources.
Mm-hmm. Hell, Batman.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Learned from like 6 different people.
And then we found out that he also did a space version to this. There's actually a miniseries that just wrapped up where you find out that he did a space version of this training too. It's pretty sick. All right, Tony. So, spoiler-free season 2 thoughts. Go.
I really like the overall feel for this particular season. A lot of the themes and characterizations were great. The evolutions that we see are fantastic, and more Paldean Pokemon is a good thing. And that's very much it.
Okay, so now
I completely agree.
We're gonna just go ahead and jump right into spoilers. So you have been warned ahead of time. This is your spoiler alert for Pokemon Horizons Season 2. So right off bat, one of the reasons I really like this season and I really like this series overall, in comparison to like your traditional Pokemon anime seasons of the past with Ash and Co, is that with Ash, he always had, like big teams. He always very early on had 4 or 5 Mon, like, from the jump. With this, like they're building up their team slowly, and because they have such small teams, we really get to know the personality of each individual Mon really well. Like, in particular, like the ones that shine the most to me are, Lego's Pokemon. They have this really cute sibling dynamic with, Florigato, the previous Sprigatito, as the like reluctant big sister, moody teen who, wants to pretend she's cool but still wants mommy's love and attention.
Because mom's focus is primarily on the sibling, especially the baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is Terapagos.
Yeah.
But we also have the middle child.
Yep. We have Hatena, which eventually became Hatrim this season. With good for Hatrim. She's like the mediator. She's the mediator sister. She's not quite the oldest, but she tries her best to look out for Terapagos. But Terapagos just has too much energy for her and her little stubby legs.
Also, she's like the healer of the group and all that.
She's also very sassy. I love Hatrim's personality, especially like when she was dealing with those Annihilates. It was so fun. It was so funny.
Yeah.
She beat the shit out of them and then
she healed them.
Those lads, and then just like, yep.
That's great.
Are you done?
Even Roy was like, beat them up, and then saw like what she can actually do.
Yep. Nah, she did great. She did great. I really like Roy's development this season. He's the closest we have to a traditional Pokemon protagonist. In terms of like your Ash like.
Yeah, and just because this is a consistent thing with Roy, it's his biggest flaw. Boy needs to calm the fuck down.
they need to give him the Pokemon equivalent of Adderall.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it also makes sense because he never went. This is his first time at a traditional school.
Or just off of his island of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, he saw the cool dragon in the sky that so happened to be shiny.
Yep.
And he wants to fight that dragon.
I really do. I really do respect his drive, and I like that that he and Nimona instantly clicked, because it made perfect sense. Because Nimona's very battle hungry, and she has that spirit. And the thing that I like about Nimona, both in the games and in the anime, is that Nimona, I feel, hits a sweet spot where she is not exactly she's not your classic antagonistic rival, but she's also not just a bland friendly rival.
Yeah, and she's competent.
Because she is friendly. Yeah, exactly. She is friendly, but she also wants to win, and she tries her hardest, and she actually can battle.
But that running joke about her and Roy wanting to battle.
And it just getting cock blocked all the time. Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
It's like, you're the class president, you have your duty. Aww.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm also just really looking forward to seeing like other dynamics develop. With our trio. Like I want to see them interact with other teachers, because like as I mentioned in the earlier part, like all the different teachers have such interesting personalities, and like that was honestly one of my favorite things about Scarlet and Violet as a game overall. I talked about it with Tony as well, and like the anime has done such a great job so far of capturing those personalities. I can't wait to see characters like Nurse Miriam, the home ec teacher dude, the language teacher.
Yeah.
It's gonna have there's a lot of fun possibilities with this show, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we have coming up.
Yeah, and like you said, like the Pokemon definitely got like their own arcs and stuff, like the now kill a watch rule.
Yeah, Wattrell's arc was really good. He finally and again, they let their plot lines breathe. Wattrell did, he was able to, Roy helped him learn to fly, but just because he learned how to fly a little bit doesn't mean that he completely got rid of his flight anxiety. But in order to save Roy, Wattrell put on his big boy pants and took that leap of faith.
And it paid off. And
it was it was all over, gents. A fucking Capsy Kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I really wanted him to catch the Cap Kid. I thought it would have been nice. Because I was like, what? It's like they have this. They already established a running gag of like the Capsy Kid feeding them the spicy food. They all like the spicy food. So you're gonna catch for the Capsy Kid?
Nah.
Because Capsy Kid's one of my favorite new Paldean Pokemon. Its evolution is so awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. It's so goofy and it's amazing.
It's goofy, but in a good way. But I do also like the fact that Wattrell turned Kilowattrell was jealous of Fuecoco, but was not like petty and didn't like hold a grudge.
Also, I'm glad they buried the hatchet and seem to be cool now that Kilowattrell can give Fuecoco rides and stuff.
And they're also continuing with Fuecoco and his personality about how he idolizes Charizard.
Oh, because in my honest opinion, the biggest highlight of the season was the basic aptitude tests for the Terra training.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those stretch of episodes were the best of the season. Absolutely the best.
And also, we didn't really talk about it much, but terrestrialization looks so cool in the anime.
Indeed.
It looks so much cooler.
And it's so shiny.
Yeah, I love it.
It makes me think could they do this with Mega, make Mega look better?
I mean, they did.
I mean,
if you've seen the anime, Megas look awesome in the anime.
Oh, there we go. Show my blind spots with this franchise. But anyway, and hopefully they'll return back to the idea of Mega when the new game comes around.
Maybe.
Well, they will.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, overall, this season's really solid, and also just because we got a lot of school stuff and all of the bigger character development for our main student trio doesn't mean that our big overarching adventure plot took a backseat. We still got some big developments there. We also got to see more of Freed's past as a Pokemon professor.
Yeah,
which is really cool. We got to see the company he worked for, his former boss, other things like that.
The whole big conspiracy. Got more about about that.
I love the personality of his boss's Chinchino.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just a neat freak. It's like
Clean freak.
I'm gonna clean
It's
that.
so
I'm gonna clean
hilarious.
that dirty hat, and Cap is just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's awesome, thank you.
Like, thank God I don't have to deal with this bullshit no more.
And then also, we got more of like the grunt level guys, like cornbread and
cornbread and seasoning. Oh man, that's just hilarious.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I think I mentioned this when we did our last podcast about it, but seasoning, the guy,
Yeah, it's Sidian.
Obsidian, that's our boy. That's
Yeah.
our boy.
That's Senshi, right?
Senshi.
Yeah, I had a feeling that I was like, that sounds like Senshi.
Yeah, it's not Obsidian, it's just Sidian.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he chose the name Seasoning, because it still sounds like Sidian in English.
Okay.
Yeah, and he chose cornbread because it sounded like name.
Yeah, coral,
Yeah.
cornbread.
Cornbread. Yep.
That was a funny scene.
Oh,
And
yeah.
everyone's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And,
these two particular Explorer characters, Coral's the pettiest bitch I've ever seen.
I know, right? And
Her
man,
whole obsession with the Rogue Trio.
Yep. And
Like,
I loved I loved Larry just like owning her at the end
Yeah.
at the end of her test.
I
Yeah.
even shared that quote with the guys because
Yeah, Larry be roasting people for no reason.
Your head
Yeah.
canon rules don't work in the real world, young lady. And I'm just
So-
like, you
and
go,
just like
Larry.
and the way he said it was just so like monotone,
That's why
straightforward.
that's
Don't
why
give a shit about
That's
what.
why I love Larry. He is just
Same.
look, I don't want to be here. You fucking cheated. No, we're done.
You,
Which you talk
so
about.
dumb.
Talk about seeing more characters in the future. I would love for them to like do more focus on Larry.
We also got more like more stuff for Grushian.
Yeah, Grusha.
They got to show off a little bit more personality, which like Grusha was just kind of bland. Out of all the gym leaders, Grusha like left the least impression on me. So I'm curious to see if the anime can turn that around. But okay, I feel like that's pretty much everything. Did we miss anything that you guys want to cover? We talked about the evolution.
Let's actually talk about a little bit of the themes for each of the aptitude tests.
Okay.
Like the major lesson for each of the kids had to learn.
Okay.
And why the picks of gym leaders were so perfect for those kids. Let's start with Roy and Brassius.
Yep.
Like we mentioned before, what is Roy's biggest thing that he has an issue with?
Stopping and smelling the roses.
Yep, he's just hyper fixated on getting Rayquaza.
Now.
Yeah.
Just completely like tunnel vision. That's all he can see.
And
Let's battle. It's
kind of the lesson that all three of them have to learn is like they have to like, and which is very key to battling in the first place. You have to be there in the moment with your Pokemon in order to successfully be able to battle. And that's something all three of them have to learn in different ways. Moving from Roy now to Dot. Dot, of course, is someone who deals with a lot of self-esteem and self-confidence issues, and she hides behind that with her costume. She uses that as kind of like a security blanket. But now, like that, she's more comfortable with herself. She's really starting to step into her own and like learning to embrace having fun as Dot rather than Nidothing, and like
you talk about cool returning characters.
really syncing up with her boy Quackley.
Yep.
And here's the most amazing thing. She lost the battle in her aptitude test, but still passed. But she made up for it in her battle against Poppy with Iono.
Yep.
And that was so beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, it was a nice redemption because it showed that she got to really put what she learned to use.
Which also, did you notice that everybody won of the trio? They won once of their two big assessment battles.
Yep.
Yeah, they all and it's the inverse of when they had the matches with the Elite Four.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was the only one that beat Poppy, like the Elite Four member that he was faced off against.
Yep. Everybody else lost, but like Brian said, Liko and Roy both won their gym test, their gym battles, but lost their Elite Four ones.
Yep, and I would say that the one who developed a little bit more on top of they all developed from the point zero that they had for taking the aptitude test. But the one who really got that development for the test was Liko, for sure.
Oh yeah, Liko really came into her own. You really see kind of like her personality shine through in battle when she's like really getting into it with Rika.
Yeah, not only that, but also how inside her own head Liko is. That's her main character flaw. She's inside her head. And Katie's more using baking as a metaphor. So the whole baking competition between Liko and Coral, because Coral wanted fucking cake and wanted to step up to butt cheeks against Katie, which, good God, why would you do that? Yeah, so look, that she won her battle against Coral in the baking competition because she put her heart and soul into baking that cake with Florigato.
Yeah, exactly.
And then one of my favorite things about just the overall relationship between her and Florigato is that they're in sync. And that's the whole point, that Katie was getting into her head and that Rika finally really put it in there.
Yeah, and that's one of my favorite moments was when they're stepping up to the battle and Rika's like, wait, no, hold up.
Yeah, that was another thing I liked. I liked that Rika called it out and was like, no, you're spacing out. You're clearly in your own head.
And then it's like, you need to relax.
Come here, pet my Cloudsire. It's like, not without gloves. It's poisonous.
Wait, why are you doing that? And she's like, what do you want from me?
Well, you're more relaxed now, aren't you? Well, yeah, actually, now as you mentioned it, I am kind of relaxed. Huh.
She's like, what are you doing to me?
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It was. And I do like how also, though, is even with all of this school stuff and all of that, we still got a little bit of like the old school Pokemon vibes with them walking back to the school with that arc.
Yeah. I thought that was, and then like that whole thing with the Primeape, and then again like Hatena's whole journey into Hatrim, which I feel like was really well built up.
But also the whole like Tentacruel.
That whole school flower tower thing. Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those lads, they were just like, the fuck's going on? One bro was just looking at the whole situation with his eyes wide open.
I really like that, like, these Pokemon evolve more based on social maturity as opposed to battle experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, our mid-battle evolution's cool. Of course, they're epic. They're always going to be epic. But it's just as satisfying to see a character's arc pay off with an evolution. See Kilowattrel or Hatena the Hatrim.
And there will be evolutions later on that we will get to see, but also just kind of cement this point. And we're not going to spoil that for y'all who are not looking at this show because it's still airing. It's a lot further than us because, well,
Japan.
Netflix. Yeah. But for all intents and purposes, this is still doing amazing work, telling this with their story. And plus, you have the Midori with the explorers and Gibeon, craziness.
It's a really consistent story. But, we're invested in all the characters, all the Pokemon. The plot is engaging.
I will say that especially during like the foresty episodes, kind of gave me a little bit of the flashback of when we tried to do that one Pokemon TTRPG with just the three of us.
Oh yeah,
that was so funny.
And because they even have like similar personalities to characters that we'd play.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah. So wrapping up, final thoughts and ratings. I'll start. This is tough, honestly. Tough. As a Pokemon fan, I am grading this a lot differently. I'm not just grading this as a regular show. I'm grading this as a Pokemon show. And as a season of the Pokemon anime, with all the improvements and like interesting changes in direction and character developments that we've seen this season, I've got to give this season. I'm having a hard time settling between it, but I'm gonna go with my gut and give it a 9. I was jumping between 9 and 9.5 because it's missing that that little thing put in. There wasn't a wow, like a big wow factor like at the end of season 1 where they had the big, the big reveal with the 6 Heroes Pokemon. No big set pieces like that. So like there wasn't anything to push it over the top for me. So I'm gonna give it a solid 9.5. As a fan of Pokemon, and as a fan of the Pokemon anime.
So you talked yourself up 0.5?
Yeah, I talked myself up 0.5, 9.5. I'm gonna give it a 9.5. Can't give it a 10, but I will give it a 9.5. Because like
Tony?
as a fan of the anime, I think this definitely gave me what I wanted to see like in the future. Moving in this new direction and then some. But yeah, go ahead, Tony.
I'd say I'm right there with you, Jay. This is a 9.5 for me because these kids going on this crazy whirlwind adventure, the adults doing crazy things, the explorers just being assholes, like really funny assholes. And it just speaks to me how much I love these just jackasses and how the characters could just be great characters in their own right.
And again, it incorporates a lot of great elements from the games really well, and like
Absolutely.
And some of our favorite elements from these games that we praised when we talked about the games themselves.
Gimmick was well incorporated. The Paldean Pokemon as a whole are great. Even the SAS Masters, especially the SAS Masters.
Yep.
Yeah. With the gimmick, I did find it interesting that Freed is the only one who had a unique Terra typing.
Yep.
For Charizard, yeah.
Yeah. That's because Charizard himself had that particular Terra type.
Yeah, I know mechanicalistically, but I was just saying that as far as the show goes, he was the only.
I think meta-wise, like it's to not confuse the kid. Giving them same type Terra type, it's way easier to understand. All right, this gives super stats, so I'm gonna do this.
Yep. Also, I think it's like another way to like differentiate how seasoned Freed is.
And it's not like they can change Terra types in the anime like you can in the game. So they're kind of just locked in. But yeah, Brian, last certainly not least.
I hate to do this again because this is 2 weeks in a row, but as Jake has like talked about this show and all that, he has talked about how he and Tony have like a much greater connection to the franchise than I do. So I have less of the blinders, if that makes any sense. But overall, yeah, I did really enjoy this season. Kind of a little hard for me to differentiate between part 4 and this season, but if I can, then yeah, overall, you guys said it all, so I think 9.
All right, cool. And for the record, it's pretty easy to differentiate between part 4 and this season because this season is the one with the actual.
I know, but
I can't wait to see more interactions with students and stuff. Obviously, I'm not gonna go into spoilers with plot. I obviously know more about plot. Me and Tony, pay attention to JP stuff.
I don't, obviously,
but
if you can't tell from the speculating.
Just really excited to see what comes up next. That's all I really have to say. This has been fun. I'm glad we got to talk about Pokemon because, like, man, this anime has been through one hell of a journey, pun intended. And I want more Pokemon fans to actually give this one a shot because it's great.
Oh yeah, and I'm hoping that with this and Concierge, we can get more Pokemon shows that don't follow the usual format.
I'm still crossing my fingers and praying for a Pokemon Adventures anime based on the manga because the manga is wild.
I would also really like to see them do a period piece, at least mini-series, to celebrate the new Legends game coming out.
I mean, they did a special last time for Arceus when Journeys came around, or when Journeys was a thing.
To get a full-on mini-series.
I don't know about mini-series, but knowing the anime, they'll definitely do a special one-off episode.
Nice. And you guys probably wouldn't know this if it happened already because how forward the Japanese stuff is. But wouldn't it be funny if our main 3 had a time travel episode?
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't be the first time Pokemon's done this. Ash has traveled back in time a couple times.
Yeah,
he did it so frequent in the Alola. He was messing with the time stream all the time. He was hanging out with young Kui. It was wild.
You called him Barry Allen.
I don't know how he was able to time travel. I didn't know he could tap into the Speed Force, but Ash did it. But yeah, so that wraps up our discussion for Pokemon Horizons Season 2. Brian, why don't you tell the lovely folks home what we will be covering next week?
Well, can't really think of a good segue. We're going a completely different direction in a different Horizon. We are covering Captain America: Brave New World with a special guest.
Yeah, our friend Trash will be coming through, hopefully, and that'll be a lot of fun. I'm again cautiously optimistic about Brave New World. I liked Falcon and Winter Soldier, so we'll see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
But until next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Mm-hmm.